This is Mr. K again, and we're going to be doing the pegboard toy assembly that we've been doing in class. This is how it will end up looking. It's got a round peg, a triangular peg, and a square peg. And to start off with, we want to start off making a new part. So new part, and we're going to make the round peg first, so we'll do a cylinder. Click on the XY plane, make it 1 inch diameter, and then extrude it 3 inches. And that's our round peg, so we'll save it. And I want you to save it under Advanced PLTW, and you're going to make a new folder, which is this Create New Folder icon, and you're just going to call it Pegboard Assembly. Okay, and we'll just call this first one round peg. Next one will be the square peg. Go ahead and make a new part. Instead of cylinder, this time we'll do box. Click on the XY plane. Start off with a 1x1 square and extrude it 3 inches. And this one we're going to save as square peg. So we've got our first 2 pegs, and we're going to make the pegboard itself, so a new part. And again, we'll do box, XY plane, and the dimensions are 5.75 by 3, and we will extrude it 0.75 inches. So there's the pegboard. We'll go ahead and save that. Just call it pegboard. Now we need the holes for the round peg and the square peg. So we left click on this face, say create sketch, and we'll do the circle first. So we'll go ahead and put the circle here, make it 1 inch, and then the rectangle, doesn't really matter where you put it, so we'll go 1 by 1. Now we got the rectangle. So in order to get these where I want them, I'm going to use dimension. From the center to this edge should be 1.5, and then this is already in the center, but we can always double check it with our dimension. From the center to here is 1.5, and that's good. Then the square, this edge of the square to the end of the pegboard should be 1 inch, and this edge of the square to this edge of the pegboard should be 1 inch. And now we have the round hole and the square hole sketch ready. So we'll finish our 2D sketch, extrude inside the circle and inside the square, and then here where it says extents, instead of distance, we're going to hit the arrow and make it all. That makes it go all the way through our pegboard. So we say OK and save using the save icon, since we've already done our initial save. So the next step will be to start an assembly. So we'll make a new assembly, and we're going to bring in the pegboard, and then we're going to also bring in the 2 pegs, the round peg and the square peg. escape, and then save, and we're going to call this pegboard assembly. Now I want to show you guys how to change which is your front view and which is your top view. So we want to make actually this right here, which is right now our front view, we want to make that our top view. So on the view cube, if you right click, say set current view as top, okay, and then we're going to go down and look at the front now, and the front is the edge. And if you go to the view cube in the top right hand corner, we'll click that, and this is what I want now to be my home view. So I right click on the home and say set current view as home, fit to view, and I want to save it at this point. So now we have our pegs and our pegboard. It's very important right now to ground our pegboard before we start constraining. So we want to put the round hole in the round, or the round peg in the round hole, and the square peg in the square hole. So the way we do that is constrain, mate the edge of the round peg in the hole, apply, and just to show you, you should be able to move this up and down through the hole, but not outside the hole. So just up and down through it. You can't drag it either this way or this way in the Y or X direction. So now we're going to do the square peg, and we're going to go mate that face to that face, apply, and then I always just free move it to get it out of the way, and then I utilize my browser to make sure I'm going to mate the proper one. As you can see, the far face is mated to this face, so what I want to do is rotate, and I want to mate this face right here to this face, and then apply. Go back to my home view, and now this peg should go up and down as well. So save it, and now we're going to make the legs, and there's different ways. You could go and make a new part, make the leg, and go from there, but we're going to do it within the assembly. So we're going to go create, and we're going to call this the leg, and it asks you to select a sketch plane for the base feature. So I'm going to select that face. Everything grays out, but we still have to say create 2D sketch, and we want to choose the plane that is parallel to that face we just selected. It lies right on it. So we click on that, and now we're going to start our leg sketch. So just do line. Actually, before I do that, I want to project geometry, because right now we're not fastened to any face of the pegboard. We're just kind of on our own little plane. So I want to project the pegboard's dimensions or edges to my plane. So I click on the side of there, and you notice that it now becomes a green color or a different color than it was before. So now we're going to do our line. Starting from this point, we go 3/8 or 0.375 inches. Then we go straight up 1 inch, straight to the left 0.75 inches. Then we're going down 5.75 inches over the 3/4 of an inch, and if you just go and hover, it will line you up with that 0.75 because we've already got a line there. And then straight up, and it will be 4 inches, but you just have to go up and hit the line of the projected geometry. Then we want to finish off with our lines there and there to finish the shape so that it's a completed shape. And then we want to go finish sketch. And now we want to do an extrude. inside the shape that we just made, and it's going to be 3 inches because that's the width of our pegboard. And if I do OK, you notice that it was projected this way, and we actually would be better off projecting it the other way. So all you do on that is edit. You left click on it, say edit extrude, and then just flip to direction 2, and now it's in line with the pegboard. So we want to finish edit, go to my home view, and we're going to go ahead and save. Say yes to all, because it asks, do you want to save the changes made to this assembly? And once you say OK, it has now saved this leg as a separate part. So now we can go place, go get that leg, and put it in, and for our other leg. And now we're going to mate it to the pegboard. So if you want to get it into position to where it's lined up a little easier as far as seeing the edges that need to be mated to each other, you do free rotate and rotate the leg so that it's more in line with what it should be. Then what you're going to do is you're going to escape out of free rotate, and you're going to go constrain, mate, and you want to mate this edge with this edge, apply, flush this edge to this edge, apply, and then to make it a little easier again, free move this out of the way, and now we're going to constrain the top of this to the underside of the notch and say apply. Okay, now you'll notice if I go out of this, this is in place, this is in place. Everything, the only things that can move are the round peg and the square peg through the holes. So let's go ahead and save it. And now we have the pegboard with 2 holes. And the pegboard, the finished pegboard, as you remember, had 3: the round peg, the square peg, and the triangular. So we want to first of all edit the pegboard to give it a triangular hole. So we double click, and that takes us to the pegboard member, and we come over to this extrusion and right click on the sketch in the browser and say edit sketch. So now that we're in the sketch, and we're going to add our triangular hole, so we go to polygon, 3 sides, make sure that says 3 sides, and then we're going to go and make our triangle. And we're done with that. So now we want to rotate this, and the way we can do that is horizontal, and that's a horizontal constraint. Click on the bottom, and that makes now this horizontal. Then we want to do the dimension, the height of this triangle to be 1, and then the dimension from this edge of the triangle to this edge would be also 1. Now the only thing left to do is to center it in the long direction, and if this is a 5 3/4 inch square, the top of the pegboard, then we're going to dimension from the center to the left edge, and half of that is 2.875 or 2 7/8 inch, and now it's centered, and we finish sketch. So now we want to go back over to the browser, right click on the extrusion, say edit feature, and profile. Click on profile inside, because it's asking you what you want to include in the extrusion. Click on the triangle and then say OK, and now we have a 3-hole pegboard. Save it, and we can go ahead and exit out of that, and now if you go back, our assembly is updated. So now we need a triangle. We're going to go ahead and just make a new part, and create a 2D sketch. Polygon, 3-side. And the center here. Again, we don't worry about how it's orientated or anything right now. Say done. Horizontal constraint. And now the bottom is horizontal, and we're going to do our dimension from the bottom of the triangle to the point, or the height would be 1. Finish sketch, and we are going to extrude 3 inches. And there's our rectangular peg, or not rectangular, triangular peg. We'll go ahead and save that and call it triangular peg. Go back to our pegboard assembly, and we're going to place the triangle into our assembly. Escape, and again we're going to constrain using the mate constrain this edge to this edge. Apply. Again, if we do a free move, just to get it out of the way, and then use our browser to help us see which mate we already have. Again, you can see that it's this far edge and that far edge, so we want to go this edge to a different edge. So we'll go constrain this edge and then rotate so that we can see this inside edge, and then apply. Do our home view. Again, this should be able to move up and down and nothing else. And we just save it. And there we have our pegboard with 3 holes, the circular, the triangular, and the rectangular, or square. And the next video we'll show how to make the mallet and bring it in to this assembly.